Look, he's not wrong. Secular people clearly do not see the Bible as anything more than an ancient book, and to quote it as a defense for the existence of God can just seem circular. Now, for what it's worth, there is significant historical evidence for the life, death, and resurrection of the person of Jesus. In that sense, one can point to what's documented in the Bible, compare it with other historical non-biblical sources, and then make a judgment based on what would be accepted as solid historical evidence for the existence of the figure and their claims. Still, I agree, by and large, the Bible should not be used to prove the existence of God. But the real issue here is with the word prove. Because you see, nobody can prove that God exists. Certainly not in the way that I can prove gravity is real or that 2 + 2 is 4. These are different kinds of questions that require different kinds of reasoning. The religious conception of God is that he exists outside of time and space, and so we shouldn't expect to find him among material things. So if somebody claims they can definitively prove that God exists, they're just not thinking critically. Now, that doesn't mean you can disprove him either. And it also doesn't mean there is no evidence for God. There are significant philosophical and metaphysical arguments. The origins of the universe and life, the apparent or seeming fine-tuning of the physical constants, the existence of moral truths and duties, and the universal longing to understand what happens after we die. Even the very question, is there a God, is an important question we have to wrestle with. None of these are answerable in an empiric sense, and none of these provide knockdown proof, but all are worthy of serious consideration. At that point, it simply comes down to an inference to the best explanation, or basically asking what makes the most sense of reality. No one can make that call for you, and no one should be pressured to. But millions of people have looked at the evidence and have come to the conclusion that the existence of God is the most reasonable explanation.